Congrats, 10 boys.
Nice. There's 10 boys.
You got too horny, and that's why.
I don't want him to come. Jake, how horny does this make you?
Very horny.
It's one big joke. Believe me, Minnesota sports in all sorts. You see, they know it's never gonna get easy. You see, they know it's Minnesota, constant pain and misery.
And I'm a part of Al Qaeda.
It's 10K TV. It's one big joke. Believe me, Minnesota sports. In all sorts.
Dude, he could turn Daniel Jones into Brett Favre.
Minus the penis pics.
Yeah. You can legally smoke crack.
What is a DVOA?
I went dicks, vaginas, or ass.
I think that's what it is.
Don't know much except to yell.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of 10K TV live on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube every single Monday at 7 p.m. My name is Bossman. I'm joined by journalists Jake and Sarge here. And really quick, before we get into the show, just a quick reminder, as the playoffs are here, we are live every single game, the Wolves, the Wild, regardless of what absurd time they're on at. We're going to get into that. Fucking 10 p.m. start time tomorrow, Central Time. You know what? I can't even complain because if you're on the East Coast, you're really screwed. But, regardless of what time zone you're in, make sure to tune in on Facebook, TikTok, X, Instagram, all of them, and come watch the games with us, react with us, interact in the chat. It's always a lot of fun. But let's get into it. Before we get into, obviously, the playoffs and the Wolves and everything else in the agenda, I feel like as a Flower apologist and a number one fan of his, I had to point out the awesome moment we got to witness last Tuesday. Last
Tuesday.
First off, if the Wild don't win, if Eriksson Ek doesn't bury that goal with 22 seconds left, we're not in the playoffs. Because Calgary went, after on this show, I re-listened to this episode yesterday, and we said, we probably don't have to beat the Ducks because Calgary would have to go and beat Vegas and LA on the road. And they did that. The Calgary Flames basically won out to lose to the Wild in the playoff race. So thank God that we beat the Ducks last Tuesday. Thank God that Joel Eriksson Ek buried that goal. And also, that same night on Tuesday, by the way, the Blues were up, I believe, 2 goals with 6 left in the third, and the Kraken tied it up, and the Kraken won in a shootout that went to 5 rounds. And if the Blues would have won that shootout and we would have lost in overtime, we're playing Winnipeg instead.
Yeah.
So it was a really crazy night of just all sorts of scenarios to get to this spot. But really cool move by Gustafsson. He starts skating to the bench. It wasn't even planned out. Everyone was nervous that he was hurt. And he said, Flower, get in there and take us home. What a guy.
I absolutely love that moment. I'm like, this makes sense. We already have it clinched, not even just a playoff spot. We're already playing Vegas. It's like, why not? And it's just incredible that this guy doesn't even have a warm-up. He's been sitting on the bench the whole game, right, for 2.5, 3 hours, and goes in there, and he's doing flurry stuff, making acrobatic saves. He made a couple of stellar saves in that overtime. And it was just the cherry on top of that game because, like you're saying, that game had my blood fucking boiling. Yeah. They were so fucking sloppy. They're like, this is the first time they have a full roster since November 19th or something.
Oh, dude, that graphic they put on, all time, that goes in the Hall of Fame of Bally Sports North. I guess formerly known as Bally Sports North graphics. I'd say it's still second to Coming All Over the Ice. That was number 1. But this one was first time there's been no one on IR since November 19th. Which,
isn't that insane?
Great graphic. I mean, it was our own internal insult stat. It was so bad.
I know. I didn't know that. I thought it was a lot. I thought we had a full roster at
some point in December.
Some point into the year 2025, actually.
Yeah.
But you got to think Kaprizov's been out since December. Ek has been out a while. That's depressing. So the fact that we were in that position to make the playoffs and are in the playoffs actually is kind of miraculous after last year when we were just playing with an AHL team for half the season, kind of like this year. So for us to do that, but I'm like, you know what, we got a full roster now. Yeah, we're going to go out at home and we're going to really pedal to the metal, just fucking destroy the Mighty Ducks.
Yep.
I like to call them the Mighty Ducks still. Nope, we just lay an egg. But, dude, these teams that are out of the playoffs, they're scary because they're playing – these guys are still playing for jobs.
Oh, yeah.
They're trying to end the season on a high note. Like Trevor Zegras and all these guys, they still have decent players. And then who was their goalie? Like Ghostal?
Lucas Dostal. He was my goalie in fantasy hockey. That dude puts up so many points in fantasy hockey because he's guaranteed taking 40 shots a game. So if he plays like he did against the Wild, I made the joke, Lucas Dostal against the Wild in a meaningless game, and it was like a LeBron James compilation.
Yeah, I know. It's exactly what it is. See, I'm like, this is the most Minnesota Wild thing ever, though. But we were getting so sloppy at so many points in that game. Like, guys, this is for the playoffs. You look like, dude. I was getting ready to post the meme if we lost that game from the Miracle when he was like, you guys are playing like this is some throwaway game up in Rochester. So I'm like, that's what it looked like they were doing.
Kinda did.
But just that, and then Fleury coming in, your emotions, you're, at least for me, and I think a lot of people, you're up here in terms of just anger and like nervousness and just stress to just a total 360, a 180 of just feeling, oh my gosh, I feel so relieved. There's Fleury.
And this was 2 days after watching Rory win the Masters in the fashion he did. So I tweeted a picture of Rory with the green jacket on. I said, watching the Wild secure their playoff spot because it was literally like that. But vintage Flower and what might have been his final performance of his career, he did quite a few things. He made a windmill save. He stacked the pads. He made a nice breakaway save. He thanked the post while the play was still happening in his own zone, which is like really I know he like thanks the post, but I just realized this year he thanks it like mid-play sometimes, which is got to be like an OCD thing. Like you can't wait until the whistle blows and the play is dead. Turn around and rub the post.
I know. Does
so
it immediately.
Awesome. It's so awesome. Also, shout out to him for extending his record of the most overtime wins of any goaltender to now 71.
71.
So I think maybe Gustafsson was in on the bit that we said where Fleury purposely gave up that 8th goal against the Sharks, the 7th goal against the Sharks a couple weeks ago to secure the record for the most overtime wins in goaltending history. He now sits at 71, which is, I think, 2 above. Marty Brodeur, did he even play? Like, was overtime even a thing when he played?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Was it the tail end of his career, though?
I was going to say because
They used to just go to shootouts, or did they? They used to just
they
tie?
used to have ties.
they would have overtimes, but it
Yes.
would just be ties.
Yeah, it'd be 5-on-5 overtime and then to ties.
Which was just disgusting, by the way. I've gone into that before, but we don't. Yeah, it's a whole other.
Final thing on it, it was just kind of cool how everyone went and mobbed him instead of Boldy, even though Boldy scored the game winner. And obviously Boldy went there immediately too, but that was a really cool way to close out his career. But all right, let's transition into some of this playoff talk. We're gonna talk about the Wolves. They put belt to ass on the Lakers on Saturday. It was a really big fuck you to Luka Doncic after he pretty much dismembered our franchise.
Last year,
took us down single-handedly, basically him and Kyrie.
It was so incredible. I mean, this team has been so fun to watch as of late. They've been figuring it out, and I think I read that they went on a 67-33 run from the start of the second quarter, going into almost the fourth quarter. And I was worried when they got it within 12. We're like, oh no, you start getting PTSD from that Milwaukee Buck game collapse and just the NBA in general. The leads even by 30, I feel like they can collapse. So
side note, Jake, you want to spin that light closer to me? I just realized that light is facing the void.
Oh shoot,
producer Sarge.
Yeah, I didn't even notice.
Fucked up on that one. He's too busy thinking about Riley Reed and what she's doing.
And Johnny Sins.
What she's doing.
She's not my cup of tea, though. I'm not gonna lie.
She's not.
She doesn't do it for me. I respect her work.
She doesn't do it for me. I respect her work.
Yeah,
Big
not
fan.
for me.
Dude, I was listening back to last week's show and realizing we kept making these references and you wouldn't be able to hear the button bar. Apologies to everyone who was looking forward to the button bar. It didn't work.
It just burn it.
Didn't work last week. But there was a lot of references that probably didn't make sense if you Didn't
hear the sound.
Didn't
Yeah.
hear the sound.
Right, that would have been a perfect time to do it, and our stream deck isn't
Yeah,
working.
I know. Just everything's broken. But yeah, dude, I do think that Luka has to be salty still. He's not. He just didn't look like he had that pizzazz he had, last year. And I didn't know this, but apparently there was an interview that came out with Luka when he got traded. When he got the call that said like you've been traded to LA, he apparently spiked his phone so hard that like a whole chunk of it was like an iPhone. A whole chunk of it like came out. He had the phone in the interview. He showed it.
Oh.
It looked like someone took a bite out of the corner of it. Apparently, he was so mad he spiked it. So, yeah, he's not happy about it. And I don't know. I just think LeBron is old. I mean, I know it's early, but I think that the Wolves are going to win this series. I think they're going to do it pretty easily.
I think so too. Luka Doncic is still just such a little bitch. Like
Bitch.
he's still good. Like I think people need to understand that you can be a little bitch and still be a very good basketball player.
Look at LeBron James.
Yeah. He's been the
Very
same way,
little bitch.
and that's why he's got a lot of haters because he needs to be the center of attention. If he gets tapped, he starts crying like a baby or flops, and then you have guys like on the Wolves that don't do that at all. Like Anthony Edwards
And
will
gets
just go
assaulted.
He'll get assaulted and rightfully so yells at the refs, and that's why he gets a
Yeah.
lot of texts. But he doesn't flop or anything. He
No.
pleads his case. Luka Doncic starts crying on the court.
Did you guys see? I don't know if LeBron was like getting up, but he was talking to the ref and he was on one knee.
Yes, I was just about to
Yeah.
reference that, and they said that he's not a complainer. I'm like, oh my god, just
He's the
suck his dick
biggest
some more.
complainer of all time.
Biggest.
He's the biggest. Just the aura was off the charts, though. Some of the events that happened during this game. Ant, we're going to actually get into this. It's going to take an entire topic. Ant was chirping with a Lakers fan, and I think at one point said, I have a bigger dick than you.
Yep.
Another point said, I make
Very
more
true.
money than you. Also true.
200 million.
Yeah, well,
The
save it,
only
save it,
clap
save
back
it.
is that guy could have said, I have less kids than you.
Yeah.
I think that's about all he's got.
less baby mamas.
Which is nothing to him.
How about, though, Dante DiVincenzo, our ginger Jesus of this playoff run, making that deep three with a buzzer beater, was that in the second quarter?
I think near the end of the first half.
And
yes.
just running down the court with the ice in the veins kind of celebration there. Just aura off the charts from our signature redhead. And then whatever Ant did to Luka, it's actually part of the thumbnail if you're watching on YouTube. It was almost like a Spider-Man thing. He wasn't flipping him off, but he was pretty close. And he was waiting till he turned around and looked at him. It was like his middle fit. It was like this.
Yeah, it was like a reverse Spider-Man. Like this is Spider-Man,
Yeah.
right? But then it was bizarre. Maybe he was trying to flip him off, but was doing it in a way
I
so
think
he's
that's
not
what
going to
it
get
was.
fined or a technical.
He was
So-
definitely flipping him off, but it was in more of like a.
This is
I think about the what is it from Inglourious Bastards, the 3.
Yeah.
No.
I think like that's what it was. It was like if I'm flipping you off, but you don't know it.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing something different.
This could be some sort of weird sign we shouldn't be putting up, though. I don't know. It could mean
Yeah.
something else. I
Yeah,
don't know.
it might mean something offensive. So, but also, dude, how about Nas Reed?
He's just the best.
Just the fucking. He was just wide open in the corner. He would make a corner three. He would go back there. They wouldn't cover him. And then he said, fuck it. I'm just going to do it until they start covering me. I think he made
He was 6
4.
for 9.
He made 4 of them from that spot.
Well, and then too, I wanted to mention too that the guy they'll have 2 guys on him, but he'll grab the ball. His release is like a catapult. He's just
Yep.
I don't know how he does it. Like
And it's nothing but net.
every single time. Like if I go and shoot around a basketball, I feel like my shot process takes 12 seconds.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there throwing the ball up just like he's just throwing it.
The
at
release
hoop.
is insane. We were just shooting threes really well in general the whole
Don't
game.
forget about Jaden McDaniels, by the way.
Yeah, I think he had tied his career postseason high game. Was it 25 points?
Yeah, well, I think he was 3 for 3 on threes.
Yeah.
It's insane. And then I think he said after the game, I thought the quote was kind of funny. He's like, they're like, yeah, what went into that game, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, Ant always tells me to shoot the ball, miss or make, and that's what I did tonight.
I mean,
That's all he does.
you
He's like,
can't
"I
score
shoot
unless
the
you
ball."
shoot the ball, dude.
Yeah, shoot
I
the
love
ball.
it.
Miss
That's
or
like-
make, I shoot the ball.
It's like the Wild. Shoot the puck. Shoot the puck.
100% of the shots
Also,
you don't take.
shout out to whoever was at WrestleMania with the Nas Reed towel. Did you guys see
Yeah.
that?
Ryan says LeBron takes Cialis.
Yeah, he probably does, dude. And he drinks a lot of wine, so you know he gets that. It's not whiskey dick, it's wine dick, I guess.
Yeah. He's like drowsy on the court.
Yeah.
He just looks like
Hey,
he's
Cialis.
done.
Dude, remember those Cialis commercials where it's like two people sitting on a countryside and they're both in separate bathtubs
Yeah.
holding hands. Like no one does that.
Who transports bathtubs to the middle of the Alps in Switzerland or wherever they were?
Was Cialis the Bob, like Bob the neighbor guy? Do you remember those commercials?
Oh wait, I think
Is that Cialis?
I don't know
just
if that was Cialis,
it's
but-
always old people. Well, what are all the famous dick pills? Viagra, Cialis. Well, now they're cool. They're like Blue Chew. They're like using younger people in the commercials.
Dude, which is sad if you have to use
Extends.
them.
They had
already.
Extends.
Extends with it ends with a Z.
It was like a capital Z-E.
Oh, they tried to make it cool.
man.
Don't forget like the gas station pills either, like the horny rhino ones.
There you go.
Well,
Not that I would know though.
I remember they had like the Spanish fly. It was, I don't even know what that is, actually.
I love
think
those
saw
bars
that.
that are shitty enough that if you go into the bathroom, there's a condom machine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Those,
Yeah, those are-
you just know you're in the right place.
you know
when
you're
see
you know
those.
you're in a cool place.
Yep, you're like, I'm just going to buy one just for the sanctity of it and then frame it.
Yeah.
Bought this at a gas station for 50 cents.
Yep. And has 4 kids. That's the comparison to the condom thing there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, we tied it back with the Wolves. Wolves in 4, maybe. Fuck it.
I think they're going to, I honestly think they could. If we win game 2, I think we're winning both games in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
We are all over them. This team is so packed, like with talent. Oh no, they're so deep.
Sorry to interrupt. Alex says if Cialis actually worked, they would only need one bathtub.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah,
Why are
right?
they in separate bathtubs? Why are they in
No,
separate?
this is
no one does that. Yeah, if you're gonna do if you're making a sex commercial, why it's almost like having people in 2 separate beds.
I know, unless
Unless you're in a hotel room
unless it was post sex, and they're I don't
sitting
know.
in their own semen.
Yeah, I don't know. It is bizarre.
It's a really bizarre concept.
It's really weird.
And they used to always air them during golf commercials.
Yeah.
Like or during golf tournaments, it was always Cialis commercials, the people in the bathtub, and I'm like, what the fuck? I just went from Tiger Woods making a 10-footer to 2 people in separate bathtubs.
And then they would
are we
list
doing?
out all the symptoms very quickly.
Yeah.
May cause inflammation, heart attack, blah blah blah, depression,
Suicidal
thoughts, cancer.
Fucking
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, maybe I'll
Erectile
just be
dysfunction, which
soft
doesn't make
instead. Oh man!
If you have an erection for lasting more than 6 hours, consult your doctor.
consult your doctor.
Oh, I
It's
thought that
actually
was a good
4
thing.
hours, not
4
to be.
hours.
Wait, but I thought the point of it was so I could have an erection for more than 4 hours.
Yeah, dude, you
No.
can't get everything you want in life.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
Beggars can't be choosers. All right, let's talk about the Minnesota Wild. Moving on, not as high of vibes as the Wolves, but not bad. I mean, some notes I had on the Wild. Zeev's debut was pretty sweet. Rookie lap was as hard as ever.
No, Zeeb didn't score, so he's a bust.
Yep.
It's official. Zeeb Boyham's a
Yeah.
bust. No, I'm just joking.
He's got like the perfect flow for a rookie lap, a flying lap, with no bucket. That's always a good look. It's gotta be a tough place to play your first game as a playoff game in a party city like Vegas.
Yes.
Just loud as shit in that arena at all times.
He was probably tempted to go out on the strippers or a club before or something
Yeah.
like that. It's like I haven't really been to Vegas. I've been a hockey player up in Denver.
Yeah.
I want to get out and party. No, dude, you're making your NHL debut in a playoff game. Okay?
Yeah.
You got to tone it back a little bit. Maybe
Yeah,
if you win
maybe
this.
if you find out like, hey man, just the way the whole roster shakes out, you're gonna get scratched for game 2, but we'll go back to you in game 3 in Minnesota. I'd be like, cool. I'm gonna go get blacked out at Club Aqua.
I'm going to go to Club Aqua. I think there is a Club Aqua there, actually. I'm going to go to Circus Sports.
Yeah, gonna go to Circus Swim and just party in the pool all day and then just show up to the rink banged up.
Bet on our own game, which would be
Yeah.
illegal.
Yep. Neil Pionk.
No.
Some other notes. The emergency backup ref came in.
Yep.
Yes.
That was crazy. No, I don't think I've ever seen a ref get hurt like that.
Eber.
Yeah. Sarge, as a member of the reffing community, what were your thoughts on that situation?
Dude, I've never seen anything like that, but like that was just super fluky. Like Theodore was trying to make the right play, and the linesman was in the right spot. You're supposed to be holding that blue line like to make the call, and that was just kind of unfortunate. But I had no idea there was backup refs. That was a fun little fact that we learned.
There was, too, I noticed, if you guys watched close enough in the game against the Ducks last Tuesday, there was a play where they should have called icing, and Zuccarello was like super pissed because they didn't call it. And then the other ref blew the whistle because the linesman who would call icing, his whistle died.
Yeah,
That
that's
happens.
right.
It can get frozen.
The emergency backup whistle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
do?
so they recommend you bring two, so you always have one
Yeah.
in your pocket.
I mean, yeah. I mean, a whistle is basically just a little area with a ball, right? It's
Yeah.
like a little tiny ball. And
Yep, little wood ball.
Yeah,
Yep.
wood. It can get frozen. Crazy. Anyways, also, Jake and I decided to voluntarily watch 10 minutes of the
That was so funny.
1997
Great Heisman race.
1997 Heisman race, which, by the way, Randy Moss snubbed. That was between Randy Moss,
Yeah.
Peyton Manning, Charles Woodson, who ended up winning it, and who was the fourth person again?
I think he was a quarterback.
Oh, you mentioned Peyton Manning?
Peyton Manning, Randy Moss, Charles Woodson. There was
I
one
think
more.
I think it was a quarterback.
I think
I've
it was
seen that
too.
30.
I remember it, but like,
We were watching it for 10 minutes, and we're like, God, this ad is really long. Like,
and now it's like it's going into an intro. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're putting on a 30 for 30. I think this was moved to ESPN without telling us.
Yep.
now.
And I felt stupid. I tweeted out, like, I just realized we were watching a 30 for 30 instead. But a lot of people responded, yeah, they just cut to that without warning. They never even put a message on the screen that said, like, switch to ESPN. It's just one of those things where it shows how much ESPN really cares about hockey.
I know.
Like, they just didn't give a shit. We went right from, a tight 0-0 game in game one to just Peyton Manning's forehead, just like that.
Well, before that, the game, it was Sunday Night Baseball. The
Oh,
Padres
yeah.
and
The whole reason we were in
Dodgers.
that predicament was because of Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. There's fucking baseball every Sunday night, dude.
I know.
There's baseball every single fucking day.
And-
No matter how many times you do this whole thing of Sunday Night Baseball, you're never going to build it up to be like Monday Night Football. That's
No.
what they're trying to do.
and never got there because now baseball is done on ESPN after this year.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
it's like, yeah, it's like, so you never even figured it
The
out.
bit is dead, dude.
So, but it was funny because the ESPN notification came up out of nowhere, game moved to ESPN2. So we're like, oh, so it started without really telling us. So now we're going to ESPN2.
You guys, we got a text message.
Okay, let's hear it.
They didn't say their name, but next time, if you want to shout out, let us know your name. But what's up, fellas? Think Gus can stand on his head and help the boys get the job done?
Well, I think he already did that last
Played-
night.
he played so well last night.
I thought he did everything he needed to do last night in that game. That was a horrible bounce that they had where Faber
Got hit in the
got
stomach.
hit in the stomach, and he tried to grab it, and then Hurdle takes it from him
And shoots
just
an-
shoots a perfect
a
puck.
shot that maybe there's 2 inches. Gus he was in that RVH. He even like tried to jump a little
Yeah.
bit to have it hit off his bucket, and it still went below
Above his
the
shoulder.
crossbar, above the shoulder, like.
There's a little pocket there that you almost can't defend unless you stick out your neck or something.
And
right
some
there.
shooters will bank it off the side of the goalie's mask. We've seen that happen too. Which, man, getting hit in the face sucks enough, but if you help be a backboard, I mean,
It's a perfect shot.
he was great on the breakaways, especially that Eichel breakaway where he went like forehand, backhand 20 different times, flipped it right out. I think Gus hit it with the blocker. He played really well.
I think he did it. I think he did enough to help us have won that game. And I think if he continues to play like that, I think he's going to put us in a good position to win. Gus Bus. So I think he's doing it. I think he did everything from the Wild in general. They looked fairly solid.
Very good. Defensively, I mean, they did give up a lot of high danger chances in the beginning there where
Yeah.
someone would be wide open in the slot and they would either miss the net or Gus would make a save. And then on the flip side where they would have wide open lanes, they would just seemingly hold on to the puck and not shoot it, which was another thing. I feel like Zeev kind of held on to the puck a little too long. It was his first game, so, that makes sense.
Yeah, there was that one where like he was like at the circle, like in the center of the circle. It's like he could have shot, man. He waited too long
You
to
just
pass
felt
shoot.
like you were one of those guys at the X who was just screaming shoot, but they should have shot it.
He had the puck for like 4 seconds, but his first game, he'll learn.
Sarge, before you go back to the chat, one last thing on the ESPN thing. Not only were they like pointing out basically obvious reasons of why we were getting penalties, and like they defended Hartman getting cross-checked in the face. Like ESPN was totally on Vegas' side. ESPN has just been a nightmare these last few years. They're going downhill, but they did have a little bit of a let's call it a resurgence when they on Pat McAfee they had Paul Hyman on. Did you guys see that?
No.
And some guy called him out. The old WWE manager big guy with the ponytail and the suit. Mm-hmm. He went on like a pre-show to WWE's WrestleMania last night, and some guy called him out. He said like he was washed, and Paul Hyman's like, yeah, well, you're gonna get deported. And then he basically said like, yeah, like your mom's mouth fits perfectly around my cock. Like, said this on Pat McAfee. It was awesome. So at least ESPN allows that. But Sunday Night Baseball, dude, and then the 30 for 30, it was just
disaster. I think we had a comment on the live stream. We're like, my neighbor just texted me, when is this 30 for 30 or commercial going to end? I'm tempted not to tell him.
Do I ride it out?
We
were like, see it, start the stopwatch.
Yeah. There were people that watched longer than us.
Oh, 100%.
They were sitting there like, what's
and they probably just
going
went to
on?
bed. They're like, yeah, I can't fucking figure out what happened.
Game got delayed.
So mentioned that cross-checked in the face. Julian says refs were so trash for the Wild last night. Agreed. That was embarrassing.
Well, how about that? So that goal, I think it was Dorofeyev had, where he was wide open on the power play. On that face-off, Freddie Gaudreau got like kicked in the side of the leg and tripped.
Yeah.
And because of that, we were down a defenseman. Foligno could either take the shot on the point or go cover Dorofeyev. He took the shot on the point. Dorofeyev was open. Gus couldn't slide over in time. One-timer goal. All because Freddie gets tripped on the face-off. So, like, that was the game-winning goal. That was the goal that made it 3-1. Then Boldy scores 3-2. They score the empty netter with 0.1 second left, which outrageous how that happened.
It was literally like the frame by frame showed it like just outside of the goal line with 0.1 on the clock, and then like you probably click the next frame, it's in the net with 0.0. So that probably is technically in the net. But
yeah,
I don't know.
The reffing was terrible. I mean, they were on Vegas' side the whole time. Yeah,
they were.
Everyone who says, well, Hartman's a dirty player, they're not gonna. You have to call when a guy gets cross-checked to the face.
In the face.
I don't care how dirty he is, and he served his time.
Yeah,
he served a 15-game suspension without pay.
It's no excuse that's just a horrible excuse. I like when, and at first, there wasn't a penalty called until like near the end into the second period.
Yeah.
And they were letting them play both sides. I mean, I'm all for that as long as it's even, and then it wasn't even.
And then it wasn't consistent.
And people are even, and this goes back to my argument with like the Gophers and the NCAA hockey tournament. When we say let them play, that doesn't mean no refs on the ice and full out anarchy. You still call shit that's egregious and totally gives a team an advantage on the ice. Like that doesn't mean you just don't call anything. Like, okay, well, why are there still refs on the ice if they're fully letting them play or whatever? So you still have to have some sort of civil rule following in the game.
Yeah, like you should not be allowed to cross-check someone in their face.
Like that was
shouldn't be able to
roughing.
Put your foot inside of someone else's foot and kick out from under them on a face-off.
No. Letting them play to me in hockey is big hits and hitting guys off the puck that maybe could be borderline interference.
Sure. Like
fucking play out. I don't care.
Hartman got hit by, I don't even remember who it was, but on open ice, they called it incidental. That was a big hit.
Yeah. And I think even us too.
That's a 50-50 call. Sure, don't blow that. But if he gets cross-checked in the face, like
that's ridiculous.
What are we doing?
That's pathetic. Yeah, I agree.
Any other notes you had on this Wild game? I mean, I think it's gonna be a long series. I could see us easily taking game 2 or game 3 at the very least.
The way they're playing, I was so worried if they came out rusty like they did against the Ducks, and I know that was like their first game back as a group, like we said, since November 19th. I think if they came out like that, they would have got destroyed.
Yeah.
But I kind of had the feeling, okay, they're going to have another week in to practice with this group of guys healthy, or what we know is healthy. You know, like I said, I think we're going to find out about some injuries after they're done in the playoffs or whenever that will hopefully be, hopefully after a Stanley Cup win.
Yep.
But anyway, I'm just glad they came out looking on fire. Vegas is still a very good team.
Yep. And
they played well against them for the most part. I don't really have like a lot of issues coming away from the game, to be honest with you.
No.
I thought they did what they needed to do. Vegas just was they just had better opportunities in the end and got some bounces, and that was it. You know,
that's playoff hockey right there.
It is. The Wild looked fairly solid, honestly. I don't know.
Also, stick taps to the marketing department for not doing a playoff motto this year. We were very happy to check in on social media and see there was not a grit first or it's about winning or.
Well, do we know for a fact that they aren't going to like reveal it in like at home or anything like that.
I guess there could be a hanky, although
I feel like the last
during
couple
the
of
Stars
years,
hanky, during the Stars series, the hanky I think just said playoffs, because so what we're saying is we hate when the team does playoff mottos because when you get beat, it's just bulletin board material for the fans to beat you. Like if you say grit first and then you get out gritted, they can just be like, hey, you didn't have grit first, or it's about winning and then you lose 4 in a row like against the Blues. Yeah, not a good look.
or this is our ice.
Oh yeah, this is our ice, and then you get beat, and they're like, "No, this is our ice," and you're like, "Yeah, you're correct."
Yeah, and I know that motto was kind of beyond the playoffs. That was like they would bring people from around the state that would bring water from their ponds and lakes and dump it on the XL, which was kind of cool. But they did, I think, move that motto into the playoffs, and yeah, it just didn't work out because I'm like, this is not our ice because we're getting killed.
Yeah,
5-1 in the playoffs.
Or this is Twins territory, and it's like, no, this is anyone who plays this territory.
this is yeah.
We're gonna get there. Sarge, what do you got?
Yeah, one last comment before we move on here from Alex. I want to see Flower win at least one playoff game against his former team.
Well, I think. Well, it
That's
depends.
going to be tough. We'd have to be up
I was
6 goals.
We'd have to be up. I said if we were up 3-0 in the series at home game 4, maybe he would get the nod.
Yeah.
But it depends on how Gus feels. If this goes deep in the series, I could see maybe Fleury starting a game.
Yeah.
You know, depending.
Maybe like a game 6 or a game 5.
Game 6. If it's 2-2.
And Gus is
maybe.
like clearly a little tired, maybe, but
Yeah.
the Wild have gotten burned in the past by trying to do a tandem in the playoffs, and I was very happy to hear them say we're going to roll with one guy because for some teams the whole tandem thing works. It's never worked for us. We always start the wrong guy at the wrong time. And
No, not in recent years. The only time the tandem worked was Rolison and Fernandez, and that was kind of an anomaly.
Yeah.
Honestly,
that was before tandems were even really a thing.
No, but Rolison and Fernandez were both starting grade goalies. We were kind of lucky to have them both. Like Fleury's older, 40 years old, legendary, but doesn't have the durability.
If this is like a 35-year-old Fleury, I'd say we're going 50-50.
Yeah,
but
or maybe he's even starting. I don't know. Like he could be the guy.
The way he played when he was with Vegas, he was a fucking machine.
I know.
It's the reason we didn't make it to the second round that year.
I know.
By the way, last note on Flower. He did confirm in a Sportsnet interview that he is retiring and staying here.
Officially.
Yep.
Okay.
He said he loves it here. He's sick of moving his kids around. His kids are in sports here. They have friends here. He wants some more stability. He's staying here. I think we can all assume him and Billy are good friends. He's going to have a job in the front office, just like our buddy Madonna, Koivu. You know, it's kind of like it's always good when you have former players running the hockey ops because they get it.
Especially like someone like Marc-Andre Fleury, kind of guy you want to keep around.
Yeah,
Those are
Vibes guy.
IOUs. Better keep that.
Vibes guy. Okay, let's move on to
We
the
have a captain's patch ad, right?
holy shit. Yeah, the captain's patch ad.
I'm going to grab another one back.
Oh, you're gonna grab another one, Sarge? Yeah, okay. Well, if you're gonna go to Wild playoff games, by the way, you should be drinking Captain's Patch. Sarge almost just knocked the mic off.
You almost just ended this entire stream.
If you're at a Wild playoff game, go to the game. If you're going to the game, go to Burger Mo's beforehand. Slug a couple of these bad boys. Get into the gates. It's section 105, 115, and C13. You can buy Captain's Patch. Or if you happen to find yourself at a Minnesota Twins game because someone gifted you the tickets,
At this point,
got them for free.
or you wanna gouge your eyes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Or you know what? You're a believer. Yeah. I'm a believer. Maybe. There you can get it in center field or right field.
Right field.
34 or in left field at the self-serve cooler. I actually just talked to Taylor from Elm Creek. Apparently, they just bought a ton more Captain's Patch.
Really?
They just reordered 12
Damn,
kegs,
that's good.
40 cases, some outrageous number. That means people are drinking it. It's a good beer.
That means, firstly, not only that there are people drinking your beer, there's enough people going to the games.
Right.
And drinking the beer.
Despite the attendance, yeah,
man.
yeah. So shout out to all of you guys who are drinking it at Twins games. Keep tagging us in your stories. Wild playoff games, especially. Captain's Patch will fuel the energy in the building. You drink enough of these, you're going to be the loudest guy on the team and earning your seats. So drink Captain's Patch. What?
No, don't worry. Keep going.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Can't just say, oh, shit.
Yeah, you can't say, oh,
In the
shit.
middle of an ad read.
Producer shit. We're good. We're good.
Producer
We're good.
shit.
We're back.
Yeah, you don't want to get a shot where my Dare shirt isn't in the
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
right.
guys. I
as
don't
I'm
know what
promoting
happened there.
alcohol.
Yep.
CaptainsPatch.com. See where you can get it near you. Let's move on to those Twins. Or no, we're talking about Vikings
Vikings
trade
draft.
deadline. Trade. Holy shit.
The draft. The Vikings
Sorry,
draft.
I had the header on my own sheet
Yeah.
as will the Vikings trade down in the draft. My guess is yes, because that's their thing.
Dude, I kind of don't know, and I don't really care at this point.
I think that's
honestly.
a fair statement.
I just know, like, so there's some notes that I've had on it. Like, I know they only have 4 picks. Everything based on my little analysis that I've looked into the draft, I hate all the hype around the draft. I've talked about. I'm so sick of it. Yeah. I'm down to see who the Vikings draft and maybe get. That's it. But they only have 4 fucking picks this year. So a lot of mock drafts that I looked at have them trading twice to acquire 2 additional picks
Yeah.
to get 6 total picks, which would make sense. But this isn't like a big time but this proves to me with them being okay with trading out of the first round and not needing to go pick a high-end player early in the draft tells me that they know, and we know, they have a stacked team that has
Yeah,
all their needs
well,
fit
and-
everywhere except the fucking quarterback position.
Yeah, our draft excitement was free agency. That was we definitely blew our wad.
Yeah.
during free agency, which was awesome.
Right.
And also as well, we are not the football draft experts. Adam and Kevin, who just recorded in here, I think are going to be dropping an episode Wednesday with a little draft preview that'll be way more in depth. What
lot
I'm
more.
seeing is, at least in mock drafts, which I know that's a whole other
That's a whole other thing. I filled out a mock draft. Cool.
sick dude.
Cool. We'll see the actual draft on Thursday.
My mock draft actually has us drafting Shador, by the way.
Trading up. See,
yeah.
anyone could do a mock draft. I have them trading up for the first round and trading all of our assets to
Yep.
get Shadur Sanders.
Yep. But we have so via the Rams, so the trade potentially Gray Zabel, interior O lineman of North Dakota State. That'd be cool. I mean, NDSU as big boys.
Farm-fed, corn-fed guys.
Let's just acquire all the linemen, all the defensive guys. I'm good with that. I saw a potential like wide receiver. I'm like, we do not need more wide receivers. That wouldn't make sense to me.
There's a safety.
Jalen Lane, Brashard Smith. I'm sorry, this draft just does not have the shine that last year's did.
Well,
With all the quarterbacks and Harrison Jr. and I'm not subscribing to this year's draft. I'm just going to be honest.
I'm just not. And like I said, even like last year, I was more excited like the fact, okay, which quarterback are we going to draft?
Right.
Because we don't have Kirk anymore. What's going to happen? But now it's like we're late first round. There's a lot of people saying we're going to trade out of the first round, and it's because we literally have everything we need.
Right.
It's just the question of quarterback. Is J.J. McCarthy going to be ready? Blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. But I do know, like, there's a name that keeps getting thrown around, like Nick Emmanwori,
I was just
safety,
about to
South
say
Carolina,
that.
which from our perspective, I think that's a position we probably need to draft the
Yeah,
most right now.
cornerback for sure.
Cornerback or safety.
Build up the defensive guys and the linemen. I'm
But
good
those
with
are
that.
positions that you can trade down to the
Yeah.
second, third rounds and be
and,
fine.
and get a couple of them maybe.
So
because, you only have 4 picks.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But
speaking of that, Dakota says, I think if that guy, Emmanwori, sorry, that's awful. Emmanwori somehow slides, we take him, but other than that, we should trade down if we can to get someone to bite.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many. All I know is from looking at a lot of the analysis and whatnot. This draft is pretty stacked in terms of cornerbacks and defensive players. From my perspective, Vikings will be fine whatever the hell they do. I don't even think they need to probably draft in the first round. To be honest, like I said, all their needs are met. It's just the will we have the right
Building depth.
Will
Build
we
some
have the
depth.
right quarterback come week one, starting week one, that they'll have the most confidence
Yeah.
in that can lead this team? Whether that's J.J. McCarthy, which I know that's probably the option at this point. Aaron Rodgers, or we'll get to it. Another name is in the mix. We'll get to that. You'll see it on the graphics.
Oh God. I'm so excited to get to that.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the draft is. I mean, Quezzy knew that he didn't have a lot of picks, so he balled out in free agency. I mean, that's
And he killed it.
Yeah.
killed it. He got an A plus in free agency. That's that's fine by me. Like, whoever we draft, it's cherry on top at this point.
You know, there's some people and fans that were pissed off. Probably not, actually. It's kind of a joke. That are pissed that he did this well in free agency because they just want him to do more in the draft, so the draft is more exciting. I live for the draft. I want this stuff. I want his success or what he's doing in the free agency to be in the draft
Relax
instead.
about the draft. Watch Stanley Cup playoffs because they're really good. They're really good, especially this year in the Western Conference. The NBA playoffs are good too. Just check on your phone.
Just take a break from football. We've said this. If you can take a break. You can follow the draft.
Follow the
We're not
UFL.
saying- We're not.
the
We're not.
USFL.
Yeah, we're not saying totally get rid of the draft, but like just people need to calm down about the draft. We have NHL playoffs, especially Minnesota. For us Minnesota fans, the Wolves are in it. Wild are in it.
We had some great golf this weekend that we're going to get to.
Yeah, there's golf on. Like you can calm down from football for a few months. Calm down.
This is not a calm comment from Charlie here. Justin Herbert will be traded to Minnesota.
You know, it is actually funny you mentioned that, Charlie, because I saw a graphic today that said signed, and it was their backup, the Chargers' backup. What's his name? He got signed by I don't know. He got signed by the Falcons, and I thought it looked like Justin Herbert in the graphic, and I was like, holy fuck! Like the Falcons just landed Herbert. What is his name?
I'm looking up Chargers backup quarterback.
Yeah, he just
Easton Stick.
Easton Stick,
Easton
yeah.
Stick, okay.
So I saw this graphic of Easton Stick signing in Atlanta, but he's got like the same equipment as Herbert had, and obviously the same uniform and shit. And he's a white guy with blonde hair, and I was corner of my eye, I was like, oh my god. I'm like, what Pennick's gonna do? Cousins? No, it was Easton Stick.
Dude, that
Unfortunately, Jake, Easton Stick is off the playoff market for the Vikings.
he is. Now we can't get Easton
agency.
Stick. Ah, damn it. That was our other option, All of them are getting picked now,
I
and
know he was on your big board.
he was on my big board. Easton Dick. I mean, Easton Dick, Stick. Yeah.
Nice. All right, let's
transition.
Yeah, let's transition into the Twins. We're gonna get back to the Vikings in a little bit, but so your Minnesota Twins were swept by the Braves, who had 4 wins going into last weekend's series. Pablo is hurt, although he's rehabbing with the Saints. So shout out to our friends at the St. Paul Saints. We're actually looking at their stadium right now. You can at least think that when a good, high-profile player gets hurt for the Twins, you're just like, you know what? Good for the Saints. They're going to sell some more tickets. They're going to generate some more hype. Get a few clips that might go viral on social media if that player does some cool shit. But the they're just disappointing. And you know what? We've done it on this show the last few weeks where we're like, there's time left. It's April. I'm hitting the panic button.
It's April 21st, though.
Hit the panic button.
We're about or almost a month into the season.
The sample
and
size is big enough.
I was gonna say we have data that can back this up, and Rocco, being the analytical guy that he is, he should be like, yeah, our team is fucked.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, speaking of Rocco, Dakota, hopefully you're still with us. He mentioned this right at the beginning of the show. Surely Rocco doesn't have much time left in Minnesota, ?
I wouldn't think so. I mean,
He looks like he's.
we've
kinda
already
tuning
said
out.
you can't collapse this early. Like they're gonna have to try something.
It's been going on since last year.
Last August.
Since
we
like
talked about it.
August, yeah. And you can't mail it in on April 21st. I mean, they're playing the White Sox for the next 3 games at home. That used to mean like 3 free wins, and now
I don't know.
they could sweep us. I mean, we just got swept by a 4-win team,
Yeah.
injury-riddled Braves.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that we're not surprisingly the worst team in the Central. It is the White Sox, who are 5-17, but that does not mean anything. I mean, we're just 7-15, so we're just there's just no pitching. I mean, like I was watching
Griffin
the game
Jax,
yesterday.
especially, he's just awful.
He's just bad, and
This
then
year he's awful.
This year,
Last year
he was great last year. I don't know what happened to him. I mean, maybe put Duran back in that closing role, right? I mean,
He's been pitching in like the 7th inning because they want him to just like keep his arm warm, but there's been 0 save opportunities.
yeah, he's they have
you have to be winning the game to save the game. I
Yeah,
guess.
like they're like just go out there to like keep your arm like ready when you do.
Well-
We do need a save opportunity, which
I mean,
don't
Sarge, how about this Luke
Keschel.
He looks
a
like
stud.
the real deal
Dude,
He had
guy.
a
Luke
double.
Keschel.
yesterday.
So
Dude, he's been. Dude, yesterday I had it on at my parents at Easter, and my mom just so happened to start watching it. She's like, "Ooh, that's my new favorite crush. That's my new
Yeah.
because
favorite."
he's cute.
I'm like, "Oh,
very cute.
I'm like, he's a very cute guy. I'm like, well, I like him because he should be a damn good player. He kind of looks like the Riley from Shorzy.
Sarge, would
I
you
got
fuck
that
him?
vibe.
His first
Luke
at-bat-
Kestrel, get him
his
on the
first
show.
at-bat was just beautiful.
Yeah.
Like it was a little bit of a Texas leaguer, but first RBI, then he stole a base, which the Twins are finally doing this year. I guess that's one thing that they're doing. But dude, they're having the most. Their pitchers can't throw to first. They have the most errors for pitchers throwing to first, which is 6 already this year, just throwing to first. Carlos Correa's even making errors, and he's a Gold Glover. Like, this is brutal,
It's
man.
not something you should have to practice, but they might have to start practice.
No, I tweeted that from the Underline account. I was like, do we need to just practice this? Throwing to first.
Back to the basics.
Yeah, dude.
Throwing the ball are they throwing it too hard?
So,
And it flies like, how do you fuck up that throw?
see, I apparently someone was talking on the Twins broadcast that it said for the pitchers, it's since you're throwing as hard as you can for the most
You
part.
don't know how to lob it.
Exactly, unless you underhand it. That's why you'll see a lot of guys underhand it when it's an easy out. But like, there haven't been really easy outs.
It's almost like a Henry Rowan Gardner. When his arm is all fucked up and he doesn't he like try to throw like a laundry thing to his mom and it just shatters behind him like he's trying to throw stuff around the house.
Oh God, what a great movie that is.
Bring in Henry. What's Henry doing these days? I've seen videos of him playing his guitar on TikTok. His actor,
Henry Rowan Gardner.
same actor, I think. As was he in American Pie as well?
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
Good
good for
there.
him. Yeah. Great time in movies. You guys want to hear some comments from the Athletic comment section?
Please.
This has got to become a regular thing. I got to make a note to include in like when a team is playing bad. I'm just going to read Athletic comments. There are still quote. There are still 140 games to play this season, but right now that sounds like a lot more of a threat of future suffering than reason for patience or optimism. Great line. Couldn't agree more. Rocco would probably welcome a firing at this point. If Rocco loses his job, then that will be the last straw for me. It's not his fault. He's doing the best he can with what he's allowed to have. And it's not his fault candy asses like Lewis are content just to collect a paycheck, which I feel like knowing Royce Lewis, he's trying his hardest. He's just suffering watching this right now because he's such a gamer.
Yeah.
He definitely cares a lot more than that. But he's got like a hamstring thing or something like these aren't injuries that you can just, you know what, I'm just going to grit my teeth and get back out there. Like you're just going to ruin your season if you come back too early.
Did you guys? I don't know if you guys watched the game on Easter, but I did, and they had the bases loaded twice, and they got one run, and it was from a wild pitch.
You're talking about the game yesterday.
Yeah.
And then the second run was a solo home run from Buxton.
Unfortunately, that feels like the Twins baseball I grew up and loved.
Yeah, right.
The amount of
Unreal,
times
dude.
I've seen them have fucking loaded bases and somehow not score. I feel like I've been watching that since I was a little tyke.
Dude, right?
The left on
Unbelievable.
they should take away that left on base stat at games because I remember I was at a
it's an
game last
insult
year. It was
stat
like
to us, yeah.
18 left on base. I was at a game last year. I'm like, this just take this off the screen. This is not a stat you want to be presenting
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah,
To us
dude.
Twins fans, not a good look.
You know what? Drink Captain's Patch at the games.
Yeah.
Make it enjoyable. You know, you can still have fun with friends and family. I was telling Sarge this. I think, like, some of my favorite years as a Twins fan have actually been years where they sucked. Like,
Right.
I think my senior year of high school, I probably went to, like, 40 games or maybe 30.
Yeah.
Like, me and my friends were going a couple days a week, and they were terrible. That was 2015. What? They maybe won 70 games that year?
Yeah, I think they won 65-ish that year, and they won the spring league that year.
Yeah. Joe Mauer was still on the team.
Yep, 'cause
He
I-
has a statue outside that actually looks like him, which is
Yep.
pretty cool.
Because I was living in Chicago at that time, and there was a ton of White Sox and Cubs fans, and then I'm like, hey guys, watch out for the Twins. They won the Grapefruit League, and then they sucked ass. And I think that was the year that Irving Santana got busted for PEDs. And
Yep,
80 games.
correct. And then
off
it was
the bat.
only a couple years later that Sergio Romo took his pants off.
Yeah, because they have to check, and he's just like,
Yeah, he's like, hey, here's my dick.
yeah, you want to see everything? Here, check it out, see it.
But, yeah, you know what? You can still enjoy the games, drink Captain's Patch, tag us in the stories. Right field, left field, get it anywhere. That's all I got on the Twins.
Yeah.
We're just grasping for straws at this point to stay positive, and it's just a disaster.
It really is. It's
You know what? Maybe a get-right series against Chicago, but it was supposed to be a get-right series against the Braves, and the opposite happened.
Yeah, and then they play, I think, the Angels this weekend.
Okay.
Who,
That's a home series.
It's another home series. I don't know what the Angels are doing this year.
I don't know if it matters.
No,
back-
they're 11-10. We're fine.
Hey,
We're 11-10.
okay, that's pretty good compared to us. Hey, at least it's like warm out again, though.
Yeah.
It'd be enjoyable weather to be at the being at the Twins game right now would probably feel pretty good.
It's something to do.
60 degrees.
I mean, it might get a little rough. I mean, we're talking about this with Wild and Wolves still in the playoffs, but when that ends, and it's just the Twins and they're still on track to doing what they're doing, it's gonna be like this is all we have right now. All right.
You know, we could actually break a record tomorrow for the lowest attended team.
Yeah, I was just about to
Because the
say
Wolves and the
that.
Wild are both playing at 9 and 10. I guess you could go to the Twins game and maybe leave in like the 7th.
Yeah, when
if
they're
you really
down
wanted
6.
to. Actually, with the pitch clock, you might actually be able to like
You'd for sure be able to catch the Wild game.
Run to a bar and see at least the tip off. But I don't know why you'd want to put in the effort for that.
No,
But
there's just not.
A Tuesday night, I think it's going to be rainy against the White Sox. They actually might break like the franchise record for the worst attended Twins game. Maybe since COVID. We should actually just start putting the cardboard cutouts from COVID back in.
At least in the upper deck.
Yeah.
Make it look dude. Thursday they play the 12-10 game. Depending on if they're like 0-2 on Tuesday and Wednesday, that 12-10 game, that afternoon game, there might be like 2 people.
They might pay you to go to that game.
Yeah, they'll start
They
just
might
paying
actually
fans,
just start leaving tickets all over the city.
giving you free food.
I don't know. Like I said, you know what? Twins games are fun. I'll still go. I'll still follow. But it's like the competitor side of me who wants my teams to succeed. It's just a tough watch. But all right, Jake, let's move on to
The topic of the day. I
now.
would
This
say.
is
topic.
kind of clickbait. When I looked into it, I mean, it's not clickbait, but like, how do we have it worded on here? Kirk back.
Kirk coming back? Question mark.
So the report from Adam Schefter is that the Falcons have had discussions with teams and asked for a lot in return for QB Kirk Cousins. Atlanta has asked for any team trading for Cousins to pay $20 million of his remaining $45 million
Guaranteed.
guaranteed. Yeah. So, do you know like who those teams are that they've talked to? I'd imagine the Vikings were.
I saw a CBS Sports article that it was Cleveland and the Vikings that literally called the Falcons with
Okay.
just exploring options of what would you take for Kirk Cousins. So the Vikings have reached out,
yeah.
according to sources. So and that probably makes total sense. Kevin O'Connell's probably sitting in the room. Well, we need a quarterback. Kirk's been there before. I like him. It fucking makes sense.
He knows the offense. I mean,
He knows the offense.
Obviously, it's been a year, but
Right, but like let's just pick it up. Pick this thing back up where he left off. Okay?
I can't believe that we've gotten to this.
Yeah.
What the
Well-
Falcons have done has been almost worse mismanagement than what's happening in Dallas.
I know.
Like the fact that they signed him to this massive contract, played him for like
Massive.
and then proceeded
Massive.
without telling him to draft one of the top quarterbacks in the draft and then to bench him after like 7 weeks and then trade him. I mean, yeah, like paying his half his $45 million guaranteed still leaves you with holding $25 million.
Yeah.
Like what a disaster for Atlanta.
It
is
is bad.
insane. The
bad.
Vikings, I think Vikings fans wouldn't even be mad because it'd be like, okay, would you rather be on the other side of this deal? Because that's possible.
Yeah. I just was
You just let him walk.
Yeah, I would just say, look, if McCarthy struggles or isn't ready, right? I get the excitement around McCarthy, but people do act like he's already good. People act like he's already going to be good. Thrown into this offense that is,
Jake, the Raiders preseason game.
yeah, right. But
It's like the Jaron Hall sample
Right.
size.
Great example.
right. It's just like,
One
that's the thing.
drive. He's the guy, dude.
And he gets concussed trying to run into the end zone.
And then just dies after.
Oh, man. But,
Yeah.
hey, Kirk was the last quarterback to win a playoff game in Minnesota.
Facts.
It's true. He won one
Darnold
playoff
couldn't.
game. Sam Darnold didn't. And
I've done impressions of both of those guys
oh
too.
gosh, yeah, dude,
Dude,
it
could
would
you
be bad
imagine
if
the
Kirk if it was breaking news, Kirk Cousins traded, our page would probably get shut down.
Yeah. It would be
But-
like polar half people being like, yes, I missed this, and other half
Like,
being
oh,
like,
no.
I have to kill myself now because I can't see these dumb videos anymore.
Well, dude, it's going to be people not upset with the trade of that. I don't like Kirk Cousins. It's going to be like, oh, if I see that fuck post more impersonations again. Because there were people commenting that, oh, thank God we don't see these videos anymore.
Under the trade under the graphic the Vikings posted, it said, like, thank you, Kirk Cousins. It was so glad I don't have to see that imposter again. Or that impersonator again.
And they would
like,
tag us at 10K takes. Oh, man.
So
the world.
at this point for that, now that we just laid all that out, I think I'm rooting for it.
I'm rooting for it in general. I'm a big Kirk guy, but I think too, like, look, Kirk Cousins though last year in that first half of the season, he actually looked good.
Yeah,
he didn't play bad. He had some comeback wins,
couple 500 almost yard games,
right? But it clearly, like, it wasn't all his fault in the defense. There guys falling down on the field when we were playing against them on the defense. They're falling down.
Their corners were all drunk when we played them.
And Raheem Morris didn't run one fucking play action with Kirk Cousins. Like, they didn't even. But clearly, Kirk's Achilles, and maybe it won't ever fully recover. But maybe if now he has another year of rehabilitation and gets put into the right offense, which take all the past years away, Kirk Cousins fits in this offense.
Yeah,
but to me, it's the Achilles. That's the biggest question mark. But the thing is, he'd probably be a backup. I understand that, but you never know. But he's been here before. He fucking. I wrote down some stats here. Like,
oh boy,
yes,
he's third all time in Vikings history in pass yards behind Tarkenton and Kramer. He has the second most touchdown passes in Vikings franchise history behind Fran Tarkenton.
Yeah,
this guy was a stud here. And people rip on him. Yeah, he only won one playoff game, but it wasn't always his fault. And I thought Kevin O'Connell was finally his coach, and he tears his Achilles in Green Bay, which I thought he was on track for an MVP season.
He was.
That derailed the entire thing. I think he actually might be quarterback of the Vikings if that didn't happen.
Because I think we make the playoffs, and I think we win a couple. I think we make a run that year.
And then you
extend
him after that, because why wouldn't you? But
dude, yeah, because we still almost made the playoffs that year.
This would be nuts. Just the entire, like, take a step back as a Vikings fan and just as a fan of football or like a analyzer of just businesses and transactions. This would be the most insane story ever if he came back after all of the money.
Oh my God.
Just incredible mismanagement by Atlanta.
Right, for sure.
I would be so pissed if I was a Falcons fan that they would come out and say, yeah, we're already giving up on this guy after we just gave him a shit ton of money.
$180 million. Just insane. I don't understand. I don't understand what they were thinking.
Well, who's their owner? Is it Arthur Blank?
Yeah, Arthur
yes,
something.
I think it's Arthur Blank. He bought one of those TGL teams.
Oh, did he? Yeah. Oh, the golf league?
The virtual golf league, the simulator league presented by SoFi. He owns like the Atlanta Aces or something.
Yeah, one of those of that league.
He's got the money, folks.
We got a couple comments from Dakota here. His first comment is, I'd take Kirk for $10 million. I think absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to – what would you have to sign him to, Jake? What do you think?
Well, would they sign him to a 1 year? I feel like they would sign him to like a couple years. I don't know. It depends. Like,
if you're just looking for a backup, there are cheaper options.
Right. See, but the fact that the Vikings are interested in him, they're looking at him as a backup, but also with potential to start if McCarthy doesn't work out.
Or you can always play the mentorship card.
Because look, Joe Flacco's gone. All these quarterbacks that would have been an ideal, maybe a good option as a backup. Because you got to understand, I think it's got to be in the back of Kevin O'Connell's mind, even though they're coming out and saying that McCarthy's their guy. He's 22 years old, coming off a brutal MCL injury, hasn't taken one snap in a regular season NFL game. It's got to be in the back of their head. Oh, shit, what if he's not ready? What if he struggles early on with his team?
You have some serious superstars on the team
and
on both
Kirk
sides
Cousins
of the ball.
has been – he fucking knows this team.
Yeah.
He's been there.
Great. That's a great segue into this comment by Dakota. Proven starter, won a playoff game, would be a great backup. And if JJ doesn't work out, he's been there before. And I couldn't agree more with that comment, by the way.
It's just the Achilles. If his Achilles, and John Gruden went off about this. He's like, Achilles sometimes take more than a year to heal.
Yeah.
And Kirk was playing less than a year in September. It's like, so if Kirk actually gets back to where he almost was before his Achilles, and he gets thrown right back into this team that is far better than when he left it, actually. Offensive line is even better. Defensively, it's better. like, oh my gosh, like we're talking about another run at it like we were seeing a couple years ago.
All right. We got another comment here. Brody says A-Rod over Kirk.
Yeah,
I think
I
so,
would
too.
say yeah, because he'd be the starter right off the bat, 100%. And like I think A-Rod just
A-Rod
won a
did
Super Bowl.
say too he would play for 10 mil, which
That sounds
I
amazing.
think if we offered
you get
Aaron
for a
Rodgers,
quarterback in 2025.
if we offered Aaron Rodgers that contract right now, he comes here. It's all on us. He wants to play here. He clearly wants to play here. But yeah, I think back when Kirk was on the Vikings, and people were thinking I was like over the top about my love for Kirk. Like, oh, would you take Kirk Cousins over Aaron Rodgers? I'm like, no. Aaron Rodgers is a far more superior quarterback.
Yeah.
He's been a Super Bowl champion. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the game.
MVP.
So yeah, I would definitely take Aaron Rodgers over Kirk Cousins because I think he's proven himself a lot more than Kirk, obviously having won a Super Bowl. But I would love to see Kirk come in here. A reunion, that'd be so great.
Well, we'll keep our eye on this one
Yeah.
because I do think that there is someone coming who, other than Jake, if we re-sign Kirk, someone else will come. But,
So that will come. No, but clearly they're waiting till after the draft.
Yeah.
because they would have signed to Flacco. They would have even signed a Jameis Winston, which I wouldn't have liked.
You can't go into the season with McCarthy and Ripken.
Yeah, Riley Ripien.
Ripon?
He's a practice squad.
Yeah.
quarterback.
There's got to be
They have a
someone else
plan.
who comes in. I don't know who it would be. I don't know who's left at this point.
Tannehill, but like the problem, I would have been all over Tannehill last year, but he didn't play last year,
Yeah,
so he's
gotta be
he's
just
totally
rusty.
he's gonna be totally cold. Like if McCarthy at 22, I'm still on the take that McCarthy is 22 years old. That's why I'm like fine with signing Aaron Rodgers. He can sit another year.
Yeah.
He's 22 years old. Like all these quarterbacks, like Jordan Love, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady did it. They all sat behind quarterbacks for 2 or 3 years before they played.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, and they turned out just great. Yeah, just a little bit.
And they sat uninjured, remember, so they were actually able to practice that entire time they were
Right.
sitting.
And
which
so McCarthy didn't
has
even
not
practice really last
He
year
was
fully.
probably just obsessing with film and stuff, which is good, but that's all you can do.
That's a mental thing. Now you get to get your physicality back up to par. So that's what I'm scared is because like this is the best Vikings team outside of the quarterback position that I've seen probably in my lifetime on paper.
For real.
Honestly,
Yeah.
that's why I'm
Yeah.
sitting here. We never won a Super Bowl. We haven't made a Super Bowl since 1977. Figure your shit out at the quarterback position and let's make a run at it for fuck's sake. Like I'm sick of this 3-4 year rebuild. Let's wait and see this quarterback pans out. We have a team that can win now. So figure it out, Vikings.
All right, let's
Yeah, we should move on.
Let's move on to another fun topic here. Anthony Edwards, just being himself, was talking shit with a Lakers fan. I was
Yeah.
like laughing as I was reading these quotes. So Anthony Edwards was shit talking with a Lakers fan, and he said, I think this guy was insulting Rudy, and Ant said he got $200 million. And then in this video, Ant grabs his cock and says, "My dick bigger than yours." Like,
I don't.
hey, it's the playoffs too, and like this guy just, some players would be like so dialed and they wouldn't get distracted by anything, and Ant just like, he's like basically flipping off Luka. He's heckling a Lakers fan saying, "Yeah, Rudy has $200 million. He's richer than you."
$200 million.
Nowhere,
You got $200 million.
I have a bigger cock than you do, which
Yeah.
is true. I mean, this guy is a fat white guy, so you know what? You can do the math there. Ant's probably right. Just what an insane number of storylines. I feel like with the Wild game, it was like a pretty clean cut, normal game one, not a lot of crazy things. And then the Timberwolves game, there was just pure anarchy in game one. So you just gotta love Ant. He's never gonna stop doing this. This video will come out. The NBA will probably fine him for sure, and he just doesn't care.
No, he really doesn't.
He really doesn't.
He is a ratings machine. I think there are so many people that are tuning into the Wolves because of him that aren't fans. Like, especially with this series, Lakers and LeBron James and Bronny James coming in for the last minute and a half or whatever the hell it was, or a couple minutes. But Anthony Edwards, like a lot of people are just tuning into this, and it's stuff like that. I mean, what game was it? Was it when he said D's nuts? Was that game one? That was like a week ago.
Yeah,
that was like
but
near the end of the regular
obviously
season.
last year there was the.
Oh yeah.
The
He
suck it.
He needs to bring back the suck it.
I think he'll bring it back if like we're up 30 and it's like a closeout game.
At home,
I
too.
could see him doing it.
After there was quite a bit of chirping early on.
There's obviously a laundry list of our favorite Ant moments that have happened just this year alone. I think you got to add this to him. Just him talking about how he has a bigger cock than someone in the crowd. There's no limit to what this man can do.
Dakota has a great comment. His fine's got to be close to his child support bill.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
That's very
Fucking
true.
A. I mean, it's just this guy's an enigma. He's not even like a real person, I don't think, at this point. And he's so good too. Like he talks a lot of shit, but he backs it up. Like
Because he's just that good.
Which is my favorite thing in the world.
Who's the player for? I think he's on the Rockets now. Dylan, Canadian guy.
Dylan Brooks?
Yeah, Dylan Brooks, who walked in front of him.
Yeah.
Like that guy talks a lot of shit, but he's not that good.
No, I know.
But Anthony Edwards is like a true superstar, and he just acts like an absolute child, and I love it.
Mm-hmm. He's just a guy you can just relate to, and just is not giving a shit.
No,
I think
yeah.
that he's funny. He doesn't care. Like a fan is chirping. I'm like, I wonder if this fan didn't expect that. He's probably just sitting there like, oh yeah, fuck you, Rudy. He's like,
Yeah.
you got 200 million. You got 200 million.
Yeah, I got a bigger cock than you,
Yeah,
and I'd be like, touche. Yeah,
right.
How about the? I just like think back to all of my favorite Ant moments this year when that fan was in the tunnel in the back of the court, and they were like, Anthony Edwards, we'd love for you to come to London. He goes, hell no, I ain't coming to London. Like he just didn't even need to say that, but he's like, dude, I'm not fucking going to London. Like
I just love how he's just so interactive, like just talking to the crowd here. Like he doesn't care, and he'll which is great. I think it's great for the game. He's not just like in this bubble, like it's about me and fans aren't part of this, you know.
like a Russell Westbrook,
Yeah.
like where
Yeah.
where like people are chirping him and he's getting him kicked out of the game.
Yeah.
Like Ant could have had
soft.
Ant probably could have had this guy thrown out of the game if he
Yeah.
wanted, because LeBron does that.
Yeah.
But no, Ant's gonna just have a bigger dick than you, and he's gonna win it. He's gonna win it the right way.
He loves that. He loves when fans chirp and are talking to him. He loves talking back. And honestly, if I was good enough to play in the NBA or something, I would definitely be doing the same thing. You know,
Yeah.
just interacting with the fans and having fun. And
I mean, that was a kill shot.
it was
That was a kill shot.
great.
I mean, this guy's got his friend has a bigger bank account than you, and he has a bigger penis than you. You might as well just give up.
Dude,
Yeah.
just curl up into a ball.
Stop breathing.
Just
at
leave.
that point,
Don't go to
because
any more
you have
games.
nothing. But you also started it, so I don't feel bad.
Yeah.
Let's talk merch for a little bit, folks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We got a whole new line of stuff on the store for this summer.
Flip that around, Jake. Flip
Oh
that
no,
around.
I'm getting to it. You got the
Oh,
logo
yeah.
tee.
Yep. This is the plant the flag one. That's a pig specifically for our. Oh no, that one's the bear.
This is for the Minnesota.
There's
Twins.
also a
It's
pig one
TC.
for the Saints.
Yeah. This is the.
By the way, we're gonna be dropping the YouTube video of us trying to eat that 6-foot-long hot dog this week. Their mascot is a freaky ass pig, dude. She was like grinding up on me, and there was a moment where her skirt came up. It's an experience, by
Yep.
the way. This video that we're gonna drop on our
Oh,
YouTube.
what's the
Awesome. It's a fun time.
Madonna?
Yeah, Madonna.
Madonna.
They just have a great cast of people working there at the Saints. That's why I'm like happy when Pablo's rehabbing there. I'm like good for the Saints. Like they get to use this, build up their audience.
And
But,
get more people involved in their antics there at the game.
Yeah, I
It's
forgot
fun.
this is a merch ad. 10ktakesmn.com. We also just dropped some awesome hats on
Yes,
there.
glad
Some
you mentioned that.
from our friends at Northern Lids. Some 10K takes, like in more of a script type rope hat. These hats will be going on there soon. These Minnesotas, I believe there comes in like 3 or 4 different colored stars. We're working on it. A little 10K logo on the side. So 10ktakesmn.com. Wild, Wolves, Twins, Vikings. Eventually, there's gonna be some golf stuff on there. We got a couple guys that work really hard on stocking this store, and it directly benefits us. So if you have ideas, let us know. But otherwise, just keep supporting us. Keep buying the merch. We appreciate it as always. Let's talk about golf. I think this is going to be a common theme once the Wild and the Wolves are done, which hopefully isn't for a while. But we'll be getting into the golf. Just a heartbreaking loss for Joel Damon.
Yeah, and the Punta Cana Chupacabra Open.
Chupacabra. We talked a little bit on the stream last night, but
Oh, man.
bogeys the last 3 holes. If you don't know who Joel Damon is, we actually interviewed him at the PXG store. He's probably like, I would say, the most popular person in Netflix's Full Swing documentary. Just a down-to-earth guy.
One of us, literally.
Literally, like,
Normal dude.
just a normal guy on grinding on the PGA Tour. He played great all weekend, actually tied the course record in Punta Cana, the Chupacabra Open, on Thursday. I think he shot 61. And then he was winning all weekend. This was a big tournament, too, because I believe if you win this, you get exemption on tour for 3 years. You get invited to all the signature events, which is higher payouts, no cuts. That's what the other tournament was. You get invited to the Players, maybe the U.S. Open. It was a big tournament. I mean, it wasn't the signature event that all the best names were at, but for some of those midfield guys, it was a big week.
It's a big deal.
And yeah, Joel just went bogey to lose the tournament by 1.
Yeah,
insane.
76. Yikes.
And he missed a 1-foot putt on 17.
I
That-
saw that.
Was that for par? Yeah, that was for par, yeah.
And then on
rough.
18 was, dude, that 18th hole there was insane. The wind was blowing at about 30 miles an hour.
Which is impossible to
And
play.
this is a 504-yard par 4. I think Joel hit like 4-iron, put it to like 2 feet from the green, had a tough chip. The wind obviously grabbed it and just missed the putt left. And it was sad. I don't know if you guys saw his post-game.
Oh, yeah.
He was basically like, yeah, I just kind of blacked out and I woke up and I'd lost the golf tournament. And it's just, you could tell he was almost like holding back tears. He was just in shock. It sucks. It really does suck, but it's also relatable at the same time.
Yeah.
So relatable, man. That's like when you're like, you're like, hey, that's good. And then you're like, oh, I'm going to putt it anyways. And then you miss it. And you're like, well, I'm still counting that.
Yeah.
That was that putt.
For us rec golfers, that we're counting that par.
100%.
Pulling it back.
No, I'm
It's
picking
just-
that up. I'm not even trying to.
Yeah, I know. Not for him.
See,
that sucks.
I'm with you, boss man. I always pick it up.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that.
Or
No.
if you putt it, you do the old like put 1 foot back, which just signifies that you're not actually trying. So if you miss it, like it doesn't count. But if it goes in, you're like, sick, dude. I'm kind of cool. I just made that par putt.
This is a gimme, but I'm still gonna putt it. If I miss it though, it still counts. No, I got you down for a 4. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how that went down with.
Credit to Justin Thomas, though,
Yes.
back in the winner's circle. 2+ years. People forget how rough of a time that guy had, especially in 2023 when he was missing like every cut and just playing like absolute shit. He comes back, wins this event, cashes $4.2 million in the bank for it, gets some much-needed PGA Tour points, FedEx points. I think he's second on the list now, which is awesome. Also, his first win as a dad.
I was just
Really?
about to say that.
Yep.
He's a
He's
father.
got a daughter. I think
Wow.
she's like a year or so old, so that was pretty cool. Just a guy that's easy to root for.
Yeah,
So easy.
he's a nice dude, but your buddy, or what was his name? We were like out after the 3M Open. He's like, you want to know what Justin Thomas looks like? Put up a thumb.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
Justin Thomas. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, now I can't unsee that.
He does kind of look like a thumb.
He looks like a thumb, but great guy, nice guy. Guy would go around and hang out with a lot. I shouldn't have said that because it's kind of making fun of his looks, but he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
And, good for him being a father and winning it in a playoff.
Do you guys remember the Spy Kids with the thumb?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Thumb guys.
That's all I'm thinking about
at
right
the
now.
at the fucking Machi Land. or
Yeah,
whatever they
yeah.
call that.
Uh-huh.
With the basically like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
They also had those thumb movies. You ever watch those thumb movies?
They had spin-offs about the thumbs.
No, not from Spy Kids, but they made a whole set. This guy that was the creator of like Jimmy Neutron and stuff. I think his name was Steve Odenkirk. Some people might know about it. He made Thumb Wars, Thumbtanic, Bat Thumb, and God Thumb. And he like remade the movies
That
in
guy
a
was a
comedic way.
big
but
thumb guy.
used thumbs and put like animated faces on them, and it was fucking hilarious.
That guy loves thumb shoving
yeah,
his ass.
he
no doubt.
probably does.
Half a
but-
knuckle hurt no one.
But what was that? Oh, okay. Oh, goodness. But yeah.
That would have been
Anyway.
a Pornhub sound effect.
Oh,
we
no.
got Sarge. We really got to figure out that button bar because
I know.
that would have been a good opportunity. But what else? Neil Shipley. Did you guys see that?
Dude, I didn't know he was
In the
on the
Corn Ferry?
He is on Corn Ferry. Yeah. He. So for those who don't know, if you remember the viral clip last year at the Masters, he's the low amateur. So he was in Butler Cabin. He's got long hair. He was also on Full Swing, just looking awkward as shit in that interview after the Masters, where he was like looking like he was literally on drugs.
Yeah.
Fourth in his, it was the fourth playoff hole in the Lacombe Sun Open Classic, Some Coast Classic, Corn Ferry event. So I believe all he needs is to win one more tournament on the Corn Ferry Tour or finish top 25 in the standings, and he'll get his PGA Tour card, and we'll get to see him have his weird
often.
antics on the PGA Tour. He did. He was sponsor exempt at 3M Open this year, right?
Was he?
I think he played in the 3M
last
Open.
year.
Yeah.
I think he did. I think we saw him because we're like, oh, there's Neil Shipley.
He's a hard guy to miss.
Yeah, he's a bigger dude and he
Really
looks
long
like
hair.
Looks like a guy.
Micheletti had a great tweet. Alex Micheletti. He said, "Congrats to Zuch on winning the
I'm winning what?
Lacombe Sun."
Oh yeah, with the long hair.
Because he's got like Zuch's
Dude, he
entire
does.
look.
He does. He
I
really
didn't
does.
think of that until he pointed it out.
You know what? He
That's-
does
that's
actually.
Spot on.
Our own
Yeah.
Zuch. Dude, yes. Was just
Yeah.
golfing with Zuch / Neil Shipley on Friday.
So, yeah, golf's been fun. Obviously, this was like the week after the Masters, so it's kind of funny because there were so many people who, like casual golf fans who watched the Masters, and they were like, "Dude, I had so much fun watching that golf tournament." I'm like, "Guess what, man? It's this every week."
Yeah, there's a lot
This
of
is
them.
on. This is on all the time. If you're ever, especially in the summertime, once the Stanley Cup playoffs and the NBA are over, and you're looking for something to watch while you're rotting on a Sunday in July, like there's good golf on all the time.
It's really heating up because then we have PGA Championship coming up in a few weeks.
Hey, U.S. Open in
Open and then
June,
the Open.
British Open in July, Ryder Cup. It's a Ryder Cup year.
Yes.
That's gonna rock.
Yep.
Another big announcement came out last week. By the way, this is the last thing I'll hit on with golf. They announced for the 2028 Olympics that are happening in L.A. It'll be the first year they're doing mixed teams. So a man and a woman on each team from each country
awesome.
are gonna do a team event.
That's badass.
Like, it's going to be really cool. So, all right, let's move on to, a topic that's going to be relevant the morning you're listening to this if you're not watching it live. Tips on how to stay up for this upcoming playoff games because the times of these being on are so fucking absurd.
Consistently, though. It's just every fucking night between the Wolves and the Wild. It's not like one game's at 9:30 and then the next couple games are at a normal time. It's like every night.
I just don't get why Tuesday night it's a 10 p.m. puck drop and then Saturday's game is a 3:15 p.m. puck drop.
Yeah,
like,
3 p.m. out of nowhere.
why are we doing matinees on a Saturday?
That's when you do the night game. I'd be fine with a 9 p.m. on a
because people
Saturday.
aren't working the next day and they can drink, and whatever, stay up late, like no worries. Fucking 10 p.m. on a Tuesday, like unless you're an overnight worker or you work from home and can get away with taking a nap, like me. I feel bad for you. Oh, I mean, think about those like East Coast guys who the game is probably starting at 11:15, realistically. And if you work like in the trades or something and you're up at like 5, 6 in the morning, you're probably just not going to bed Tuesday night.
No, you're staying up all night. And they even play at 8 p.m. The first game home in St. Paul is at 8 p.m. And that's with knowing there's a game before that.
And that's on a Thursday night though.
Thursday night, 8 p.m. But
Weeknight, school night, whatever.
probably won't start till 8:15, 8:30.
Yeah, Nolan says these late games are going to kill me. This morning even sucked.
It did suck.
Yeah.
This morning sucked.
It was really rough.
And Michael says smelling salts will be needed to stay awake.
Yeah.
That was
Okay.
actually
That's
actually
one of
one of
them.
mine.
Good way to kick off the list. Smelling salts. I have just caffeine, maybe a little hope, and then a window of your next day to take a nap because it's just I don't know how you'd survive without one. I guess just more caffeine and smelling salts.
Or a nap at like 7 p.m.
Yeah, which you can fit in a 7 p.m. nap. 'cause they're not
Right.
playing till damn near 10 p.m. now every
You wake
night.
up at 9 and the Wolves just started.
Oh, and the Wild aren't on for another hour and a half. Great.
By the way, tune in at 9 p.m. tomorrow, Tuesday, on all the 10K socials. We're going to be watching. We're going to try to do the Wild and the Wolves tomorrow. We're going to do a little hybrid stream. I think it's just going to be pure chaos, if I'm being honest.
You just have all those teams and fans.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll kind of see how that plays out.
Yeah, I had a few things on this.
Yeah, let's hear it.
The tips, you can flat out just cocaine.
Okay.
That was one of mine too.
Drugs.
It works.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wouldn't know though.
Really helped the German army when they were doing the Blitzkrieg in the 1940s. They were amphetamines. That's how
Methamphetamines and
that's how they
cocaine.
kept invading overnight.
Yeah.
So, yep, that historically works.
That works. We can pull the old morning routine guy's bit and just dip face in water, nice water, every 30 minutes maybe. It might work.
Oh,
might work.
and go to bed at 6.
Yeah, go to bed at 6, get up. Oh man,
Dude,
You
when
do
that-
3
when
or
that-
4 times a
when
night,
that
you're good to go.
when that motherfucker is waking up, if we go to overtime, we actually might still be playing when that
Yeah.
guy's like waking up.
For his 3:30 a.m.
Yeah, I don't think he actually wakes up at 3:30 because he'll post a video of him going like the Heat game.
Yeah.
It's home at like midnight,
Bro.
Like, and he's like, "Temptation
liar.
lives at night." It's like bullshit, dude.
No
you were
way
at the Heat
you're-
game.
Yeah, no way you're getting 3.5 hours a night.
Temptation lives at night until you get offered courtside seats.
Oh, man.
All right, I had this. You can watch old Wild highlights when they used to score goals earlier in the year to get hyped up.
I like that. Or maybe just
Get-
rewatch
get
that
torqued.
Sharks game.
Yeah.
Krill had 2 and Eck had 4. That was fun.
Get you a little torqued up, get the blood pumping.
Oh, we got a text message here.
Oh, no.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. This has nothing to do with this, but this is still
no.
great. Thanks for texting in. What if the XL Energy Center's new name is General Mills Arena? Welcome to the G Spot is the nickname.
Oh, we're for sure. And General Mills
I
could
love
honestly
that.
be an option.
Oh my God.
Welcome to the G. It's time for a
Yeah, Sarge.
G-spot
We need
power
more
play.
text messages. What's the
Yeah.
phone number?
So it's 651-300-2129. I've been posting it in the chat, and I'm going to keep doing that. I've done
Please
it a few
keep
times.
texting us.
Amazing.
Yeah, you can be totally anonymous, so you can say outlandish shit like that. That's great. Now you know what?
Fantastic.
For some reason, like people ask me what the new name is going to be. Like I'm an insider and I already know, and I just say I'm not sure. I'm guessing it's going to be 3M, General Mills. Like you can just kind of list off the big Minnesota companies.
Securian
I'm going to start
Financial.
telling them that the leader and the leading horse in the race is General Mills, and that we're going to go by the G Spot.
Which would
Yeah.
be electric, by the way.
I also like the people who just say X, as in like what used to be Twitter is going to buy it, so we can just keep calling it the
Yeah,
X.
call it the X Center. The excellent. What about? Oh, get this. What about Microsoft buys it, but they're sponsoring it with their Excel application, so it's the Excel Center.
Yeah.
But a different Excel.
Or Microsoft buys it, but they split it with Rock Hard Landscaping in Burnsville, and it's called Micro Hard.
Micro Hard.
It's basically a view of a micro penis.
Excel
in that
Hard.
direction.
All right, question for you guys. If it does get renamed, is it going to be like Twitter or, X, where we all still call it Twitter? Do you think everyone's going
I
to keep
think
calling
so.
it the XL?
Oh, I've been calling it the Excel since forever. I'm definitely going to call it the Excel. It's
I
going
don't
to be
know.
actually very weird.
I don't know how to call it anything else, really.
That's actually honestly going to be incredibly weird. Like, it was just weird when they changed TCF Bank Stadium to Huntington Bank.
I'm like starting to finally get that,
Yeah.
but we still call it as a joke the stadium formerly known as TCF. So I'd probably just I'm probably just gonna call it the stadium formerly known as the X.
This was called the XL for 25 years, though,
Yeah.
so it's going to be a lot different. There's going to be no more. It's time for an XL Energy power play.
Well,
Power
they can still keep that.
Yeah. Well, dude,
I don't know if that's part of the contract.
The XL Energy could still sponsor the power play.
So I think
Yeah.
they're still doing a new they're still like advertising
Oh,
rights. I
right.
think they're just not. They don't want to do the arena
Naming, which
anymore.
is a lot of more money, so
Yeah.
maybe they'll still be involved in it, and they should, because XL Energy, I don't know,
yeah.
big bit. XL Energy Center, dude, that's got to be a lot of money, though, honestly.
Well, so back when they came up with the contract in 2000 or whatever, it was $3 million a year, but that was old money. That
Yeah.
was, maybe 7 now.
now it's a lot more for them
Now
to renew.
I wonder what the price tag is for it. Like you probably got to lock into probably like a 20-year deal, maybe $10 million, $200 million total.
Yep. Oh yeah, you got to lock into a minimum.
It probably comes with certain amenities. God, I wish we had that kind of money. Everyone's like 10K takes arena. I'm like, dude, that would rock.
Dude,
so
that
that'd be-
would fucking rock. Let's go into just crippling.
Yeah,
takes.
I mean, you basically got to do some like John Spano tax fraud or
Who's the guy that started Firefest? We need a lesson from him.
Billy
Why is
What's his name?
McFarland?
McFarland,
Is that
yeah.
McFarland? Hey,
Okay.
yeah,
or
let's-
or John Spano, who was his net worth was like $1 million, and he bought the New York Islanders for a month because he just photoshopped documents.
Yep.
Like, I think we're gonna have to do that.
We can figure some out.
that'd
We
be
know
so
people. Hey,
badass.
let's utilize the people watching to help us make the XL name.
Do you think we could live there though? If it's our name on it, we could
Oh,
live there.
we're
So
we're
you
definitely
probably get
getting,
at least a couple suites with it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we are.
Those
we,
have those shitty little couches in them.
They would probably.
Actually, I don't think they're shitty. They're probably nice couches.
Right. We're definitely. Some of us are definitely living there.
Yeah. 100%.
Not paying rent anymore. I'm living at the XL.
Well-
or well, it wouldn't be the XL. It would be 10K Takes Arena.
If we put in a bid to buy that arena, though, it would be so obvious that we couldn't afford it. It would almost be like when Pablo Escobar made like $44 billion in 1 year and had a taxi company with 3 cars.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like, wait, so these guys want to buy the naming rights to this arena, but they have a one-room office in Lower Town, St. Paul.
Yeah. Hey, we're saving money.
Yeah.
We got another text. Cabins Patch Club section at 10K Arena. Electric.
Yeah, I think
still have our
I
own
do
club
think
section.
one day we can, if we can grow this beer big enough, if you guys keep drinking it and we keep expanding, #expand. Yeah, there could be one day where maybe we own the rights to like a club or a bar in the stadium. That'd be really cool.
Dude, I would actually go to every game that's not the Blackhawks playing the Wild then.
You'd probably become an alcoholic, Sarge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uber would be my sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
I don't know
Yeah.
how much like the Bud Light Lounge. You know
Yeah.
how they have like those sponsorships up
Yeah.
in the like club level.
That doesn't do it. They need a captain's patch club. That would sound
Yeah.
so much more smooth.
Or like just
Smoother.
talk to
Let's start there.
talk to your buddy who owns Custom One Landscaping. Be
Yeah.
like, can we buy the name from you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Or
Proof credit.
we can. You guys can. Yeah.
Do you accept a what are those payment plans?
We'll pay it off for the next 85 years.
Yeah.
Pay you $10 a month for 85 years using
We'll use a payment plan. The next 20-year payment plan. Loans. We got a loan.
It's like in Schitt's Creek when there's like, oh, it's just a tax write-off. We'll just write it off.
Oh, write up. No, that's not how it works.
Yeah,
It's a write-off.
Do you guys think if we bought the naming rights for the XL Energy Center, the 10K Arena, do you think they would let us pay $10 for 400 years using a firm?
Yep. All these people are going to be dead. But you know what? Give us the right. You can find the right firm, man. I mean, we can figure
That
it
would
out.
rock, dude.
That would be so
Can
sick.
you imagine like your payment to the XL Energy Center using a firm, 4% interest, which is like another $100 million.
Yeah, right.
Oh
Well, they're
my
going to pay it off eventually.
Yeah.
2400.
We believe in their program.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. All right, that was a long-winded conversation. Yeah, drink caffeine. Actually, don't do cocaine because I'm wearing a Dare shirt, so I will.
Yeah, you're right.
Don't do it.
I will come and arrest you.
Dare will
I will
be
make
upset.
a citizen's arrest.
You could also create, to stay awake, you could also create or simulate or, maybe create a near-death experience.
Yeah.
But don't actually die to get the blood flow going.
Yeah.
You know? Adrenaline high up. You know, maybe almost get in an accident in the road, but don't actually get in an accident.
Go play beer league hockey because it's impossible to fall asleep after playing beer league
I was
hockey.
going to say, there might be some games where you'll finish beer league hockey games in time to watch the Wild
That's a
game
good
at this
point.
So,
Yeah, you could if you have an 8 p.m. puck drop, you'd normally be like, "Fuck, I'm gonna miss the Wild game." Nope.
No, you're good.
My last one was getting into a fight. If you've ever been in a fight, your adrenaline is rocking. So that maybe go fight. Maybe go fight someone outside.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Come here.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Go fight a fella in the streets.
Inject Red
They're
Bull.
always down to fight.
Inject Red Bull via a syringe.
Yep.
Goes right into the veins.
All right, let's close out the show with a bit of a curveball topic. Did JD Vance kill the Pope? So, Sarge, do you not know this story at all?
No, I don't. Please explain it.
Okay, so R.I.P. to Pope Francis. He passed away this morning. Apparently, he's been very sick for a while. And JD Vance had a Twitter post or an X post, future naming rights to the XL Energy Center, the X Arena.
Yep.
Basically saying, I visited with Pope Francis today, and I prayed for his health. And he literally died the next day.
Yeah,
So,
he was one of the last people, if not one of the last people, to see him when he was alive.
Yeah.
So it's like in any sort of investigation, you know, you always look at the last person who saw them alive, and now
that was-
he's dead.
So dude, JD Vance, like, obviously politics aside, he is on just an incredible generational run right now. I don't know if you guys saw the Ohio State football team visited the White House and he like dropped the trophy.
Yep.
Yep,
Saw
I
that.
saw that.
Yep.
And this is like on top of the Twitter memes of him. I don't
Oh,
know
geez,
how did
the
we
memes.
how did we get so outrageous with those?
I don't know. All I know is I think I heard that the memes have definitely reached him because he's reposted them.
Yeah, he started
reposted
tweeting
them.
the memes.
It's like
And then he visited the Pope and prayed for his health, and the guy died a year later. I love all the people who were just saying visit insert person's name you want dead next.
yeah.
Or Dallas Mavericks fans were saying visit Nico Harris next.
Yeah.
So Yeah, just a really interesting time. I'm pretty sure he deleted the tweet, too, because I was trying to find it. I couldn't find it. And then he had like a heartfelt, rest in peace to Pope Francis tweet.
Yeah.
About a day later. So I'm like, the tough PR
Tough
PR
look
turnaround on that one.
on JD Vance. Yeah, like the people were like, yeah, JD Vance killed the Pope.
I think he should have kept the original tweet up because
Yeah.
it's funny.
Well, I found a actually ironically came across this video on like Instagram or whatever, and someone made a song already.
Oh yes.
Did you see this? Or
No,
you see,
this
like,
is.
listen
I
to
cannot
this,
wait.
listen to this.
Vance kill the Pope? Did JD Vance? Did JD Vance kill the Pope? Did JD Vance? These are questions that must be raised.
AI?
I don't know. It must be an AI song, but
By no means are we making suggestions, just pondering this premise out loud.
God.
it's JD Vance kill the
Dude.
Pope.
This guy,
Hell.
like I said, he's on a generational
Oh,
run
man.
as a vice president right now. Just I mean,
He keeps getting more and more in the news.
There's something
for
cra-
crazy shit,
Yeah.
not like political.
yeah,
politics
nothing
aside.
to do with his job. It's just
Yeah.
what he happens to be doing in his spare time.
the memes, and then dropping the trophy, and now visiting the Pope, and then the Pope dies, and it's just it's been crazy.
I remember too. He was like when they got inaugurated. I think that was the same day that Ohio State played in the Rose. Was it the? No, it wasn't the Rose Bowl. Yeah, it was the Rose Bowl. And he
the
was
semifinals.
Yes, because
Yeah.
they played Oregon and it was still light out and they kicked their ass. I remember him saying like, "Can we make sure the inauguration is done before the kick?"
Yeah,
It's just hilarious.
it's
So,
just a crazy thing. Yeah,
yeah, but
I got a fun fact about today. This is also the Pope died the same day Prince did 9 years ago.
oh yeah, that's right.
day after
Prince did
420.
die. Prince
I
did
also
die.
saw there was a ton of people in New York City yesterday, and they had a big plastic container filled with weed, and there were like 8 tubes that went to 8 different gas masks, and they were just lighting it in the street. So 8 different people are hotboxing in the street at the same time, celebrating 420
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
On Easter.
on Easter. So, all right, that just about does it, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of 10K TV. If you want to listen to it live or watch it live, you can do that every Monday, starting around 7 p.m. Central Time on all of our channels. But if not, you can listen on YouTube, Spotify, all of that. Make sure to check out our merch, 10ktakesmn.com, and also make sure to drink Captain's Patch, especially if you're going to the Wild game. If you're going to the Twins game, God rest your soul, but you know what? We might actually end up at a Twins game in the next few days here. So thank you, folks, so much for tuning in to 10K TV, and we'll see you next time.
Alrighty.
Did JD Vance kill...